The JSE looking set to open to some global market pressure this morning, with investors considering increased geopolitical risk stemming from the rising tensions between the US and China. Carmen Mpelwane is portfolio manager at Absa Asset Management, joining us now for an update of how the markets have opened in early trade. Carmen, good morning to you. So let's go straight into it. How is the JSE performing in early trade, particularly after ending weaker in the previous trade?
Yeah, it's definitely a risk on this morning, and we're seeing that coming through with the JSE opening down over 1.2%, largely driven by across sectors, so across mining specifically, as well as the banks. So nothing's out of the line of fire today.
Let's go straight into company news. Telkom reporting a decline in earnings. This is during the first quarter of the year. A big contrast, Carmen, to MTN's update. Help us make sense of these numbers.
Yes, unfortunately, I think the key aspect here is related to the reduction in elasticity of data. So for MTN and Vodacom, you have seen as they've reduced data prices, they've seen an increase in usage, and that hasn't come through for Telkom. Add to that the fact that Telkom was the loser in the last spectrum auction as well. That's likely also to have had an impact on these numbers. Completely different models, different jurisdictions in terms of where they operate when you compare MTN to Telkom. And Telkom is trading at a deep discount to its assets. I think one of the key things that the market will be looking for is the progression of the talks with MTN, but also whether there'd be an unlock of value through the sale of any assets, but that hasn't come through in these results.
Let's talk about Royal Bafokeng Platinum's headline earnings per share falling to R7.67 in the 6 months to June the 30th. What's driving the decline there?
Yeah, so not too much of a shock to the market. This was expected as it was announced in the trading update a few weeks ago. But I think what will be negative for the market is, number one, the reduction in the dividends. I think it's quite prudent in terms of the outlook for platinum prices. So the PGM basket that they are exposed to has come down significantly since the beginning of the year. We have seen increased risk in terms of load shedding, as well as concern around demand across the globe. So that would be the one negative aspect for the share. The second definitely is the reduced capacity utilization for the stale drift operation, only operating at 75% of capacity. So I think that definitely will be under what the market had been expecting. So not too much shock. The share price is marginally down just over 60 pips this morning. But we are seeing negative in terms of mining in general.
Okay. All right. Let's conclude the conversation and talk about Absa, which is getting a 2 billion rand loan from the International Finance Corporation. And this, they're saying, is to help expand its affordable mortgage business. Talk us through those developments.
Yeah, so definitely in line with a statement in March of this year, where Absa had announced that they're going to be focusing on increasing their book in terms of ESG focus to about 100 billion rand by 2025. So that's a doubling up of what they've had before. So this speaks directly into that. We all know that in South Africa, specifically in the low-income environment, that there has been a lack of financing, and that's related to the risk profile. And this is supposed to be a assistance to allow the floodgates to unlock and to give accessibility to those who don't have homes. The number is at about a 3.7 million deficit for homes in South Africa. So this would go away in alleviating that.
Carmen Mpelwane, portfolio manager at Absa Asset Management. Thank you very much for that market update.